up. The adrenaline in a Game 7 is unlike any, but the slow heartbeat is what's going to make it or break it. And I think a Game 7 for one of these teams, they're not prepared to end the season and see who's going to keep going on.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has been on another level, out of his mind in this postseason.
He really has. He's been a one-man wrecking crew, but he's had a lot of help. But the one thing for tonight's game, I don't think he's going to be given many chances to hit. That's how good he's been.
On the mound for the Blue Jays is Shane Bieber. 1 Game 3, 8 strikeouts over 6 innings.
Can you imagine coming back from Tommy John surgery and you're just really getting back in the flow, and now you're in the playoffs and you're one start away from getting in the World Series? Well, it's a battle of the first third of the game. The 3 innings has been the indicator. Whoever's won the 3 innings pretty much has won the game, with the exception of Game 5. And I think for him to have his secondary touch is going to be huge, because he's not going to be given a rope to go 7 innings. You dream of it, but he won't be.
Rodriguez homered against Bieber in Game 3. He then singled against him. He does not have a hit since. 0 for his last 12. On the ground, and there's a hit to snap the skid. Into the corner. Extra bases for Julio Rodriguez to start Game 7. And there is your first star making an impact.
There's a moment, and you know the guy that's coming to the plate. He's beat up, tired. He's hit some homers, but what he's got on his mind is drive him in. Get him over, drive him in. And in Game 7, whoever gets that first third of the game really puts the manager in a nice spot from a decision-making spot. And man on second, nobody out. Seattle must score this run against an offense that is pretty darn good on the other side.
Cal Raleigh drove in more runs than anybody in baseball this year. Stands in there. Here's another 3-2 from Bieber. It's a fastball to finish him off.
I mean, that's a great pitch to a great hitter. Tied him up inside and established an incredible at-bat. That he got him inside conscious, and then I said, when you can get him inside conscious, you can get him up, and he did.
The Mariners have hit more home runs than the Blue Jays have in this series, but the Blue Jays hitting .297 in the postseason, the Mariners hitting .215. They've struck out twice as much, and the strikeout means they don't get the 90 feet here. Ground ball right side past Guerrero. Here comes Rodriguez. Barger has a cannon, but the throw is late, and Seattle is on the board in the first inning of Game 7. Josh Naylor drives in Julio Rodriguez, and the Mariners take advantage of the leadoff double.
And that is a big, big run. That's only their 5th run produced not by a home run with runners in scoring positions. When you get on the road, you want to get ahead. Again, dim the crowd, which is going to be electric.
Now, the last time they played in a winner-take-all game, Game 5 against the Tigers, this was the hero, Jorge Polanco. 15th inning, walk-off hit. He's not going. Here's a bouncing ball left side, cut off by Clement. The third baseman hits the runner. They get the out at second, but they won't get a double play. Wow. Onus is on Clement to avoid the runner. Naylor didn't do anything to go out of his way to have that throw hit him. And so the inning continues. Well, I don't know that he didn't do anything. In fact, I changed what I said. It's a jump into the throw. And I guess John Schneider, upon seeing it a second time there, does have a case. And the entire umpiring crew getting together here.
I mean, right here, you just throw right at him. And normally they slide and get down. This was not slide and get down.
Rarely does an umpire make that call, but they are going to say that he did go out of his way, and it's an interference on Naylor. So a double play finishes off the inning. George Kirby, as the Mariners try to bounce back, so does George, because he gave up 8 runs, John, in Game 3.
Yeah, he has a chance to atone for that start uncharacteristically. I think he's got to use more 4-seam fastball, but he went with a lot of 2-seamers, caught too much of the plate, and therefore relied on that meat of the plate, and the Toronto Blue Jays took advantage of it.
George Springer will lead things off. It's the ultimate strength against strength matchup. George Springer is in the zone more than anybody, and this Blue Jays team prides itself on attacking pitches aggressively in that strike zone. Springer leading off Game 7 with a walk. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., if it wasn't for what Ohtani did in the last game of the division series, you'd say this is the best hitter on the planet at the moment. He's right there with Shohei Ohtani. He's 9 out of his last 15. In this series, 3 home runs and just 1 strikeout. Springer at first, 1 away. Here's the 0-2. Hit hard and through. 10 out of his last 16. Jays looking to punch right back. First and second with one away.
Yeah, great hitters. They don't see 3 in a row and not do something with it. And that's why the second one surprised him. The third one was not. He was on it.
He has hit everything in this postseason, every pitch type, every location. Tying run into scoring position. Alejandro Kirk to the plate. It's another one of those good high fastball hitters. On the 8th pitch, Kirk swings and fouls it into the glove. Strike 3. Kirby gets Kirk, 2 gone in the first.
Yeah, that was a great pitch and a confidence builder for the young man. He seems calm, cool, and collected, but you know what's going in his mind is the last outing he faced these guys in the first inning already in some hot mess with runners on first and second, but that'll help a little bit.
Both teams got the leadoff man on in this first inning. Mariners were able to cash in. Blue Jays now down to 2 outs with Dalton Varsho climbing in. Varsho grounds one through into center field. Springer chugs for the plate and ties the game. Both teams with a first inning run. Varsho knocks in Springer.
Curveball down, and he does a great job and just goes right up the middle. They were playing the pull.
Well, the bottom 5 in Toronto's order in the wins in this series, hitting .383, 18 runs batted in. And this has been the biggest guy in that story, Ernie Clement. 0-2 from Kirby. There goes the runner on a drive to center field. Rodriguez goes back. He's got a beat on it to end the inning.
The Blue Jays punch back, though, and for only the 8th time in this series, we finish an inning tied.
These Game 7s, you compress everything you love about baseball, amplify it. One game. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball. Base hit into center field under Jimenez. Leadoff man on again, and it has been in all 3 half innings in this game. On the 1-0, he left it over the plate, and it smacked into center field. A base hit. Back-to-back hits to open the second for the Mariners. First 2 aboard. Here's J.P. Crawford. Clement in front of the bag at third. Squares. Bunts it. Bieber's only play is at first. Successful sacrifice from J.P. Crawford. The Mariners playing a little bit of small ball right here to advance the runners to second and third.
Trusting that Rivas is going to be able to put the ball in play. I'm assuming the infield will be in.
Rivas chokes up and strikes out. Bieber backfoots the breaking pitch. 2 out.
Another strikeout for the Seattle Mariners offense.
We're the one guy they're supposed to be able to count on to not do that. Rivas down on strikes, and it's up to the new guy in the lineup, Victor Robles. The game finds him. Second and third, 2 away. Bounces the first one back to Bieber, who's out of the jam. Mariners miss an opportunity in the second.
Not easy, really, to move in the leadoff spot mid-series, right? But they had to do something with their offense and struggling, and see if it pays off tonight. Already a double.
And now a 2-2 pitch. And a high drive to left center field. Lucas on the run. That ball's gone. Julio Rodriguez, in the biggest game of his life, is delivering. Doubles and scores in the first, homers in the third, and it's 2-1 Seattle.
A Game 7 blast by Julio. It is 2-1 Mariners in the third. You gotta love that. Julio gives the Mariners the lead with an emphatic Game 7 home run.
There is the hanger, and he didn't miss it.
Second time that he's homered against Bieber in this series. Mariners back in front. They're locked in early on in Game 7. Polanco grounds one sharply and through to center field for a base hit. It's already the 6th of the game for the Mariners. Snaps an 0 for 13 for Polanco. So a couple of guys that came into this series slumping have broken it. And he kept alive for Rosarena. Seattle 1 win away from its first pennant. Here's Bieber's 2-2 pitch. Rosarena chases strike 3. And Seattle's got a 2-1 lead.
Mariners leading 2-1. Third inning. He winds, steals. Swung on and missed. Got him. A great slider. Lucas swings through, and George Kirby has his second punch out and a big out number 1 here in the third.
Jam shot, shadow right. On comes Robles, out goes Rivas to put it away. And they get Guerrero on 1 pitch.
But see, that's the luxury, having a 1-run lead. Go at them, right? If they hit a homer, they get a hit off your fastball, so be it.
Kirk declines. He's hard to strike out. Here's the pitch. Swung on, smoked right to J.P. Crawford, goes to a knee, and he puts it away on the fly. A line out to end the third inning. A 1-2-3 inning for George Kirby.
This time last year, was rehabbing from the Tommy John. He was with Cleveland still. They were in the ALCS against the Yankees, but he had to sit off on the side and watch. And he said, as tough as that was, it was motivation. He's sitting there saying to himself, I'm going to get back here. I cannot wait to be pitching in these games again. Went fastball, poked to the left field corner, and it sails over the head of Lucas for extra bases. J.P. Crawford, just his third hit of this series. The longest tenured Mariner has a one-out double here in the fourth. Guy has seen so many ups and downs in his time with the team, but has locked down a key position in scoring position for Rivas. His 1-2 to Rivas. Got him again.
Right back to the off speed. Had him out in front on a slider. 2 down.
Robles 3 out of 27 in the postseason. The Mariners have the big home run from Julio Rodriguez, but their issues with runners in scoring position have persisted in this game. 1 for 5, 3 strikeouts. He's walked the 9-hitter, and that's going to end his night. So Victor Robles plugged back into the lineup after he was benched after game 3. Trying to get a spark, get a different guy in the order. They believe that they can get to the World Series for the first time. Julio Rodriguez, a double, a home run, 2 runs scored. He comes up when you come back. Rubber arm Louie. This is the 10th game he's pitched and out of the 11 they've had in the playoffs. Doubled in the second pitch of the game. Came in to score that massive first run. Bouncing ball left side. Easy play. Clement takes his time and ends the inning. Louie Varland gets the job done. 3 of the first 5 hitters of this game reached base against him, and they had a run to tie it. Only 1 base runner since. The 2-2 to Barger. That's a base hit. Barger with a 2-out single.
And that one he was trying to bury low, but he kept up enough, and Barger kept his hands back this time and just shot it back up the middle.
Well, the part of the Jays winning game 6 was taking nothing, turning it into something with 2 outs. Connor Falefa out of the 8th spot, shoots one up the middle to a perfectly positioned Rivas. Takes it to the bag, over to first. The inning is over.
Cal leads things off. Both bullpens getting active. Cal batting lefty against the righty Varland.
Varland fires. Cal hits a high fly ball, deep right field. It is gone. Raleigh joins Rodriguez, delivering in game 7. The 2 biggest stars for the Mariners showing up when it matters most.
Cal Raleigh, he has homered in game 7. He has stung the Blue Jays yet again. A leadoff home run by Cal Raleigh to begin the 5th inning. And a silent hush over nearly 50,000 inside Rogers Center. It's a 3-1 Mariners lead.
This guy's amazing. Seattle knows it. The rest of the country is about to find out.
5th home run of the postseason for Cal Raleigh after 60 during the regular year, and it is 3-1 Seattle. Brian Wu takes over for the Mariners with a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the 5th. So Wu, who had not pitched since September 20th, he was out with a pec injury, came back in game 4 or in game 5 and was sharp. He went 2 innings, gave up just 1 run. He got a chase for strike 3. Comes back from walking Jimenez to lead off the inning to strike out Springer quickly.
Ideally, you don't want to face Guerrero with the tying run at the plate or the winning run at the plate. So you're a double play away from getting out of this inning.
Wu's 1-1. Bouncing ball to short, could be 2. Crawford running throw, double play. There it was, and they'll face Guerrero to begin the 6th. Seattle 3, Toronto 1. Counting outs, 12 of them from the World Series. 3 2/3 from Bieber. Varland 1 1/3. And now Dominguez, home with the 2-1. Broke his bat, broke a couple bats in this inning.
Clement makes the grab it on 7 pitches. Dominguez retires the side in order.
I tell you, I mean, he's done about as good as you can do. Breaking ball away right now. He's made him real conscious inside.
So the target set. That's where he went, and he finished him off. Only the 3rd strikeout of the playoffs for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Wu's 2-1. Kirk flies it into shallow center. It's down. A base hit in front of Rodriguez. Kirk's first hit of the ball game, and in the blink, Toronto has the tying run coming up. So the first hit allowed by Wu in his inning plus. And now Dalton Varsho comes to the plate. Right center field for Robles. He's got it.
I'll tell you what, that was just a click off the barrel. That was that low nitro zone, and Varshaw just didn't catch it off the barrel.
Ernie Clement, his fans love. Oh, he went up and got a bouncing ball to short for Crawford. Shovels it off to Rivas, and Brian Wu with a couple scoreless innings. Kevin Gausman out of the Blue Jays bullpen, home to Robles. Gausman's 3-2. Robles plugged back into the lineup, has gotten aboard twice. And now you got to deal with the guys that have made the difference in Game 7. Rodriguez, a double, a homer, 2 runs scored. Raleigh with a home run of his own. Ground ball to short, could be 2. There's 1. There's 2. A 6-4-3 double play to wipe them clean. So they get Raleigh with the bases empty. Chris Bassett has already begun warming. Nobody warming in that Seattle bullpen. And instead of him facing Raleigh, who has homered against him 4 times in his career, including in this series, they'll put him on intentionally and go to work against Naylor. 3-0. Ball 4. For the second walk, 3rd with the intentional of this inning. And they're at 1st and 2nd for Polanco. Deuce is wild in the 7th. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 from Kevin Gausman. Bouncing ball to 2nd. Kind for left to 1st. We stretch in Game 7.
Well, it's been the double play ball yesterday that the Blue Jays benefited from. The Seattle Mariners got a big one last inning.
Ground ball, base hit center field. Bottom of the order, doing it again for the Blue Jays. Tying run aboard in the 7th.
Breaking ball just stood right there in the inner part of the plate, and he took it right up the middle. If he makes that pitch turn the corner, it's a ground ball more towards shortstop.
Laid down. Wu to 1st. 1 away. Job well done by Andres Jimenez as Barger moves to 3rd. Kiner Falefa to 2nd. And George Springer comes to the plate.
And that'll be it for Wu.
Top of the order's coming up. And Edward Bizardo, who's been one of the top relievers for the Mariners this season, is coming in.
Well, you know, Springer, after getting hit in the knee, saw his series maybe not continuing. Well, not only is it continued, he's in a position to tie the game up and possibly send this Blue Jays crowd into a frenzy.
The 1-0 pitch. High fly ball. Left field. Arozarena watches it go. George Springer has his Jose Bautista moment. This one deeper into the playoffs. This one could send him to the World Series.
It's not the World Series, but if Joe Carter had that jacket, he'd be wearing that jacket. Now that jacket has had the biggest moment of the year to this point on Springer. Frenzy. I set him a little short. It's beyond frenzy here.
Swing and a fly ball. Left field and deep. Arozarena turns. Gone! A Springer dinger. 4-3 Blue Jays in the bottom of the 7th. 1 knee. No problem. You have to have that guy in a big game, and he crushed a pitch out to left center.
You have got to be kidding me, Ben. That is the best moment in sports I have ever seen.
And listen to this place go.
The Blue Jays have the lead going to the top of the 8th inning. And again, John Schneider is turning to a veteran, even if it's not his normal role. He's got Chris Bassett on the mound here in the 8th.
Arozarena leads off and bounces the first one to Jimenez. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Now Eugenio Suarez.
Jays are 5 outs away from their first pennant in 3 decades. Another 3-2 pitch. Suarez takes strike 3. It falls out of the sky to get Suarez.
Gino is hopping mad. He's jumping up in the air, and he can't believe the call by home plate umpire Quinn Wolcott. Strike 3. The Mariners have 2 down here in the top half of the 8th inning. It's a breaking ball that Gino thought was inside and off the plate. It came back over the corner, according to Wolcott. And there's 2 down, and that'll bring up J.P. Crawford.
Crawford, who had 12 home runs in the regular season, grounds this one to short. Jimenez up with it across. 1-2-3, 8th inning. Chris Bassett.
He steps over the chalk, and the Blue Jays go back to the bats, up 4-3.
They can smell it in Toronto.
No hits in the postseason until now against Munoz, and the first two Blue Jays have reached. Infield in for Seattle. 4-3 Blue Jays. First and third, no outs. Madison Barger up to the plate.
On a 2-1, Barger pulls it to first, and it's a line drive double play anyways.
Oh, man.
Wow. There have been like a million double plays the last 2 days. This one goes Seattle's way, and they've got a chance to get out of this unscathed.
Oh, man. That's exactly the only thing that could have saved them, and it happened. Really, Clement, nothing you can do about that. Infield drawn in. He's getting a secondary lead.
The set by Munoz, and again the 1-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball up the middle. Right there, Rivas. He's got it near the bag. The throw to first in time to get Kiner for left, for that's going to retire the side. Mariners have had to climb many mountains along the way, and another one in this one. Right now down by 1, but they have 3 more outs to work with when they come up in the top half of the 9th inning.
For the Mariners, their last chance. It'll come against Jeff Hoffman. Because the Blue Jays have blown everybody out in this postseason, he's only had 1 save opportunity. Rivas, then a pinch hitter, Canzone, then Julio Rodriguez. Here we go. Rivas starting the 9th. And he's down on strikes. Hoffman flames a fastball by him, 1 away in the 9th. 32 years, down to 2 outs. Canzone is just 3 for 27 in this postseason. He was benched tonight.
Now Hoffman has 1 to play with. He hasn't thrown a good splitter to him yet, but he has 1 to play with if he wants to get him to chase off of that fastball.
2-2 pitch. 2 gone in the 9th.
2 down, top of the 9th, and with the World Series on the line, here comes Julio Rodriguez.
Well, you know what's going through his mind. He helped start this 3-run scenario with his teammate on. He wants to give Cal an at-bat. Anyway, anyhow. Man, this is what it's all about.
A strike away for Jeff Hoffman and the Toronto Blue Jays. The payoff. He'll strike him out! And for the first time in 32 years, the Blue Jays have won the pennant.
He got in! The Blue Jays win the pennant! The Blue Jays win the pennant! They're going to the World Series! It's so good, we must be dreaming! The Toronto Blue Jays come back, knock off the Mariners, and they will take on the LA Dodgers!
And we weren't sure if Jeff Hoffman would be able to come in this ballgame and be effective after throwing 2 innings yesterday. That might have been the best outing of his season. What a moment for him. What a moment for George Springer. What a moment for this city. That was incredible.
No team in the history of the ALCS has lost the first 2 at home and come back to win a 7-game series. Until now, the Blue Jays look down and out so many times in this series.
They were fantastic today, and hopefully they're fantastic in the 2025 World Series.